organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV, we'll take a look at a press conference set to express the concerns of a growing number of University of Iowa leaders.
And hypnotherapy is being used as a relaxation technique. We'll look into the process of being hypnotized next.
Hawkeye Wrestling had a big win on Saturday, and some of its wrestlers are gaining national attention. Find out who in sports.
We have all that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Sanchez.
And I'm Jeremy Meyer. Today, representatives from Campaign to Organize Graduate Students and Iowa defendants met today in the Old Capitol Mall to discuss issues with new UI president, Bruce Harold. The group is demanding he hold a press conference to discuss UI faculty concerns instead of using what they call secret one-on-one meetings. Representatives of COGS will be holding a campus assembly tomorrow in Van Allen Hall at 1 o'clock to allow people who aren't as involved a chance to have their voices heard. The leader of COGS also plans to break down how they believe Harold's decisions will impact the campus.
Where folks can have their voices be heard and think about how their concerns about the well-being, the economic well-being of Iowa City and the University of Iowa and the status of the University of Iowa can be maintained in this political environment, and what our aspirations and goals are for the future of our community and our university.
The University of Iowa police arrested 9 people on Saturday, making this a season all-time high for arrests on a game day. Amid the Hawkeye celebration in their first 10-0 start in program history, 8 of these arrests were reportedly on public intoxication charges, and 2 of them faced disorderly conduct charges. Authorities report that in the past, arrests have spiked particularly at night games due to more time to tailgate.
Now, if you're planning on taking a quick jog down the Iowa River Trail anytime soon, you may want to reroute. The trail, located between Benton Street and Myrtle Drive, will be closed starting Monday for repairs to a storm sewer nearby. This will cause a detour on Riverside Drive and close the parking lot at Ned Ashton Park. Both locations will reopen on December 1st.
After the deadly attacks that rocked France and Lebanon this past week, many U.S. governors are now restricting refugees from coming into their states. The governors are trying to block Syrian refugees from entering their states because of concerns that terrorists could use refugees as a cover to get past United States borders. Iowa Governor Terry Branstad stated that while he wants to protect residents from terrorist attacks, he may not have the authority to block refugees from entering Iowa. While allowing refugees into the country is a federal program, he is asking for coordination and information about where people will be placed and who will be accepted.
For some, hypnosis can treat what other medicines can't. Hypnotherapy has been used to handle phobias and even various excessive habits. Daily Iowan TV's Afe Ironrow has the story.
For some, hypnosis can be seen as a form of entertainment, but many others use this for physical, mental, and emotional relief. Dr. Kristen Studevant has more on this alternative form of treatment.
The deeper into a trance we get, and that's at the level of alpha brain waves, where most hypnotherapy or hypnosis takes place, although sometimes in a very deep trance we get down to the theta level, where the brain waves, as you can see, are spread out and much less choppy.
The use of hypnotherapy is gradually gaining steam in the medical world, as it is widely used to treat stress-related issues and varying long-term conditions. As a graduate student, Dr. Studevant became interested in hypnotherapy after it helped her deal with test anxiety.
I was taking statistics and it was so difficult, and I was so nervous that I was hypnotized, and I got an A on the next test, and then I was just an advocate of hypnosis.
Dr. Studevant personally engaged me in the process of hypnotherapy through guided steps.
In and out. And as you breathe in,
Agriculture student suggests that hypnotherapy is important as it enables us to regain our ability to unplug, especially with our constant engagement with social media. Reporting from Tamnos Holistic Therapies in Iowa City, this is Afe Ionra for Daily Iowan TV.
With finals coming up, Sturdivant encourages students to schedule an appointment with her so she can help them de-stress.
Because agriculture is a main part of Iowa's economy, some are surprised at the amount of food that is wasted. According to an audit recorded by the UI, students throw away an average of 3.5 ounces of food every meal in the dining halls. The UI is working to lower the amount of food and water wasted on a daily basis. With assistance of an $80,000 grant from the Department of National Resources, the program works to promote sustainability. This is in line with the UI's goal to become 40% self-sustainable by 2020. Well, Jeremy, the constant drizzle today was just not the most fun when walking to class.
Pretty sad, pretty dreary. I hope that weather will subside sometime soon. Let's send it over to our weather studio right now, where Haley Van Dyke is standing by. Hi, Haley.
Hey, so that's right, guys. With falling temperatures and chance of precipitation, we're looking at two different four-letter words. First one is R-A-I-N. Don't leave that umbrella at home because it'll be raining all day. That's a promise I can keep. Wednesday will be a brisk 52 in the morning with winds at 20 miles per hour. Leading into the afternoon, we'll feel temps around 58. Once that sun goes down, temperatures of 59 will also be sticking around. Taking a look into the rest of the week, Wednesday will be in the low 50s, a 40% chance of rain. Thursday and Friday will be awfully gloomy with cloudy skies with highs in the mid-40s and lows around 20 degrees. Make sure to wear extra layers for this weekend as we cheer on our Hawkeyes, because on Saturday and Sunday we're looking at another four-letter word, S-N-O-W, with possible snow. Temps will be falling down to a high in the 30s and low in the 20s when the sun sets. There's a look at our forecast for the rest of the week. Megan and Jeremy, back to you at the desk.
It was a loud night at Kinnick Stadium. Fans packed the stands for Saturday night's game, cheering on the Hawkeyes to victory against the University of Minnesota. But it may have been a little too loud for one Iowa City resident. The Iowa City Police Department got a call that night from an apartment complaining that the stadium noise was too loud. The apartment is located more than a mile from the stadium, but reported that they needed to speak to an officer about the uproar.
Well, Megan, the Iowa football team is making quite the noise on the national level, 10-0, coming in ranked number 5 last week. We'll see where they come on Tuesday.
Absolutely looking forward to it. Let's toss it over to Katie Reber in the sports studio, who has the latest. Katie?
It was 7 games in 5 days, which made for a busy weekend. We start with Iowa wrestling, as wrestling reporter Laura Belanda was at the Hawkeyes meet on Saturday and has more. Laura?
When one Hawkeye, Alex Meyer, dropped his match, it was Sammy Brooks, the 184-pound junior, who took on Jordan Rogers to clinch a win that lived up to Saturday's hype. The Hawkeyes suffered 3 losses before Sammy Brooks stepped onto the mat, but he had one thing on his mind.
The moment I stepped on the mat, it's all business. That didn't change anything for me. I expected Meyer to win, and I'll expect Meyer to win every match, but so my mindset's not going to change when I wrestle, no matter what happens before me.
Brooks completely dominated this match. Beating Rogers by 15, he only needed 4 minutes and 9 seconds to get the technical fall. The final score of the match, 17-2. This turned the duel around for good in Iowa's favor and put the team score at 15-3. Raising it 5 points.
It's a 5-point win team-wise, and that's big and confident. And the way that he was wrestling and how hard he was hitting those holds, how he was finishing, that's what we want.
Brooks hardly had words for the way he felt after this caliber of a win.
I'm not usually one to, I try and think I'm not usually one to get up and celebrate and flex like that, but there was no stopping myself. It was just so, it felt like a lightning bolt.
Reporting inside Kinnick Stadium at Grapple at the Gridiron, Laura Belanda, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
It was also just announced that Sammy Brooks has been named the USA Wrestling Athlete of the Week after his performance over the weekend. Daily Iowan TV's football reporter Ian Murphy takes a closer look at what made Iowa quarterback C.J. Beathard so special on Saturday. Ian?
An injured quarterback isn't supposed to run for 50 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And even more, he's not supposed to pass for 213 yards. But that's exactly what C.J. Beathard did on Saturday night. Beathard has been hampered by a groin injury for much of the season, and his mobility had been questioned over the last several games. He answered those questions early and often on Saturday, though, and his teammates credit him for making plays when they needed them.
Yeah, and he's going to keep plays alive, and it's really our job just to kind of scramble and find an opening and just make a play when he's out there scrambling around.
Beathard went to his legs to score the second Hawkeye touchdown of the game, a 1-yard bootleg where he scored untouched. It was Beathard's first of 2 touchdowns on the day, and head coach Kirk Ferentz said the play had been dialed up all week.
We're not taking it out. I think it's back in now, and if he can run it, we're going to call it, believe me. But the sneaks might be off the board.
The redshirt junior probably won't score an easier touchdown this year.
That's the easiest touchdown I'll ever have, that's for sure. It was a good play call, a great play call, and we talked about it during the week. We're like, if we call this, you're going to walk in, and that's exactly how it was. I literally walked in.
Beathard also scored on a quarterback sneak for his second rushing touchdown and threw for 213 yards through the air. Beathard is already off to the best start in school history for a quarterback, and he added another chapter to his growing legend on Saturday night. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Ian Murphy.
Iowa will be back inside Kinnick this Saturday with a chance to clinch the Big Ten West Division. It was 2 games over the weekend for the Iowa men's basketball team. I was there courtside for the contest and have the recap. Iowa men's basketball began their season Friday night and showcased a dynamic team and their win over Gardner-Webb. Of course, contributing to the win was the veterans on the team, but the Hawks also debuted a few fresh faces and liked what they saw. Jared Uthoff was the key player in the first half, going 6 for 9 in field goals and making 7 free throws. Scoring 8 of the first 9 points of the game, Uthoff dominated the floor, but Iowa only had a 4-point lead at half, 41-37 over the Runnin' Bulldogs. It was all about Iowa's defense in the second half as they held Gardner-Webb to just 22 points, forcing 9 turnovers. Iowa utilized their roster playing 13 Hawkeyes, including freshman Ahmad Wagner, who dominated his debut with a team-high 8 rebounds and finished with 6 points.
He knows exactly how to come in and impact the game. So when he's sitting on the bench, he's going to figure it out. He's going to come in and help us.
Just do what I can to get other guys open, get other guys more shots and everything, so that's rebounding and just make effort plays.
The Hawks went on to play Copen State on Sunday. Jordan Maloney has more.
Thanks, Katie. Just like in their season opener, Iowa's defense played a key role in their win over Copen State, holding the Eagles to just 65 points. Posting 103 points, the Hawkeyes added their second win to their season, thanks in part to the entire team.
A 30-point lead at the half meant more playing time for some Hawkeyes who may not see the court every game. With 58 points and 28 rebounds coming from the bench, 14 different Iowa players contributed to this team win.
When you have young players, you got to be able to let them get in the game, make a mistake, stay in the game. Today we were able to leave those guys in, and a lot of good things happened.
I thought it was great to see other guys step in, hitting shots. Dale, Dom, they all played great, and he's doing his thing at the end. It's just great to see everybody get involved.
Next up, the Hawkeyes head to Milwaukee to take on Marquette, hoping to add another win to their record. Reporting from inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm Jordan Maloney with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
That's all the time we have. Jeremy and Megan, back to you.
In an effort to gain political traction with young voters, one Democratic presidential candidate is getting his message out there in 10 seconds at a time. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is the latest candidate to join Snapchat in an effort to appeal to millennial voters.
Sanders also uses other social media outlets such as Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit to comment live on Republican debates as well as push his platform and views on current issues. Sanders tweeted the announcement of his new account by saying, "What is this Snapchat thing and why do I only get 10 seconds?" along with the logo from his account.
Now, Megan, I don't have Snapchat, so I'm right there with him. I don't really understand what the hoopla is all about.
You gotta get with it, Jeremy. Seriously, if that guy has it, you should probably get on it.
I'm a little late to the game. That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check us out tomorrow or online. I'm Megan Sanchez.
And I'm Jeremy Meyer. Have a great night.